Do you want to know what it's like for two Ohio girls to buy off-grid land in Alaska, sight unseen, and build a cabin on it? Well, keep watching because you're about to find out. Welcome to the official launch of the Alaska Dreamer channel. Hi, I'm Judy.
And I'm Cindy. We currently live in the lower 48 and we want to take you along on our Alaska adventure. But let's start with the first question first. Why Alaska?
Well, because I fell in love with Alaska on a cruise in 2018. And it was from the first moment that I stepped out on the deck of the boat, I knew I wanted to live there.
And I wasn't there. I took a lot of prayer. But I would say that I actually liked Alaska. I wasn't sure that I wanted to live in Alaska. Used to say Alaska is a great place to feel small, but now I'd say it's a great place, an easy place to see how big God is. But what impresses me the most about Alaska, because you talk about the mountains, of course, the great one, you talk about the water, you talk about the wildlife, but I'd say the people are pretty good.
The people are great. They're friendly and helpful. And I always say that if you ask an Alaskan for directions, 10 minutes later, you're still going to be standing there talking. And they're just the most helpful, kind people I've ever met, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being in a harsh environment, you have to be helpful and being willing to help. And I think that's one of the reasons we'd fit in well. We're going to make our mistakes, but hopefully you can learn from them. And so we did a little thing earlier this year. You want to share what we did?
We bought some property, sight unseen.
We've seen it twice now.
Well, we've seen it twice, but we didn't see it when we bought it.
No.
So it was, we did a lot of searching on the internet, or I did for several years, and at the beginning of this year 2.63 acres came available, and we purchased it just through pictures and video and some really helpful real estate agents.
Yes, they were helpful. So it's raw, undeveloped land, and the goal is to go off-grid. Now, off-grid doesn't mean you don't have amenities like running water or septic. It means you do it differently.
Which we don't have.
Yeah, we don't have electric. But we have fiber optics.
We don't have septic, we don't have water. We are off-grid.
We are off-grid. But what do we know about off-grid?
Nothing.
We know we need an outhouse. We know that.
We have an outhouse.
We do have an outhouse. Actually, I want an outhouse here. That'd make life so much easier. Working outside, you don't have to go in.
To walk in the house and go to the bathroom?
No, because I'm busy and I don't want to have to go inside, take my shoes off, and all that.
That's true. That's a pain.
So, but what are we going to learn? What are we going to do to learn more about being off-grid? Or what have we done?
Well, we're going to start preparing here, right? So gardening, canning. We've been talking about taking like a wilderness training class, survival, whatever, first aid.
First aid would be good.
We're definitely going to need to learn, spiff up our first aid.
Well, but we also spent some time at Caribou Lodge. If you haven't gone, fantastic, great families.
Yeah, and Caribou Lodge. We love you.
We do. We miss you too. Hopefully we'll see you soon. But going there, seeing off-grid kind of dispels, I think, some of the images you may settle for. I think there's different levels of off-grid. But I would say ultimately just being self-sustaining.
Yeah,
is the aim. And so as Judy said, things now that we do, chickens are in the background.
Sorry about the chicken noises.
But talk about self-sustaining, great protein.
Yeah.
For
not
eggs,
the chickens, they're eggs.
Yeah, for eggs. But learning how to can, just not just, oh, here's some things, but making things, making breads, making your own food from stuff that you've grown is always a good thing and healthier.
Learning to chop wood.
Yes,
I had a little injury with that, but that's another story.
that'll be another YouTube take. So, long story short, the land was found sight or on YouTube, bought sight unseen. Uh, we don't know much about living off grid, but that's why we're doing this. If you don't, or if you have advice or a book that we should read, let us know.
Comment down below.
Comment down below, hit like and subscribe. We'll do that often. But in all honesty, just want other people to learn. Here's our starting point. Yep, there's some things we know. There's a whole lot more that we need to learn and grow through, and willing.
Sorry, totally interrupted you. What was the coolest thing about our property that we discovered?
Oh.
This
It
is pretty
wasn't that it backs up to a bunch of state land and we have great neighbors. Those are both very good things. But we have a unobstructed view of the Alaskan range.
cool. Denali!
So it's funny because before we got to the property to see it the first time, we went and saw the sunset. It was cloudy. And we go back the next morning. Well, the next morning was beautiful. And so we're like, we're going to go see Denali. Sometimes even if it's beautiful where you are, it's not out. We were blessed. We went up the Parks Highway. We got to see it. We turn around. We go to the property. We make it to the back of the property. And there it is, because the back is up on a bluff. Like we didn't even have to go driving around. We should have just went to the property. But what are the first things that come to your mind the first time you went to the property? What were your thoughts? I have 3 words.
This is cool.
Well, those
Lots
words.
of trees.
Snow and mosquitoes at the same time.
Yeah, that was weird. Snow and mosquitoes at the same time. And they're big mosquitoes too, but they weren't biting us.
No.
They were just kind of swarming around, being annoying. So, but that was in May,
Correct.
right? So I'm sure in July they were probably pretty hungry by then.
So in May there was still probably 2 to 3 feet of snow on the ground. They had a lot of snow.
That was fun trying to tromp through the snow in our boots. We really needed snowshoes, I think, but I don't even know if that would have worked because we were walking on top of sticks and brush and all that stuff. And
so what was the purpose of our trip in May? What did we do?
We explored the property. We determined where the property lines were. We met with some excavators who were super, super nice guys. Yeah. We mapped out where we were going to put the cabin, and they were going to cut down a bunch of trees, and they were going to put in a gravel pad and a driveway, and then something changed.
So we met our neighbor, and he shared with us that the person that owned the property lot beside us was interested in selling. And so we actually created a little Ebenezer, which is just a memorial stone, thanking God for what he blessed us with of many years of prayer and, you know, even beyond what we asked for, of a view of Denali to go with it. Then we texted the neighbor, the guy that owned the lot, the neighbor, and didn't hear anything for a month. But then, after a month,
we heard from the guy and he wanted to sell. So guess what?
we have 2 lots.
We bought it. We have almost 7 acres now, which is pretty cool.
And what's cool is it came with a outhouse, a shed, and a little cabin. It's a little dry cabin, although you could hook up a generator to it. He has it wired.
And the trees were already cleared.
And
so we
building
didn't
pad.
have to clear all those trees, which saved a lot of money.
Yep, building pad. And we went up a second time. There was a group of us that went up for a women's retreat that you led. And that was August?
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts on that trip? Seeing it without snow?
It was beautiful. It was very spongy, like walking on memory foam almost. So it's not really rainforesty, but it's definitely damp, and there's a marsh down below, and then there's lots and lots of trees, lots of dead trees, lots of spruce beetle kill trees that we need to get rid of, but some beautiful birch also. And it was really cool seeing it with the leaves on the trees. And I hope to be able to see it in the fall, but that'll come. And it was really cool to have people there.
Yeah.
Our first guests, our first, they found a little stump of birch with something growing out of it, and we made a little table decoration out of it. And they kind of shared some ideas, and we all prayed together, which was really cool. We had a prayer out there, just to kind of bless the property. I don't know if we can bless property, but bless the future and see what God's going to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know about you, but I can envision in the future people coming up and having a place to stay. It's not going to be a huge it's not going to be a huge cabin, but it'll be a place to rest your head and a place to host people coming in and get to experience Alaska, and hopefully be able to cut maybe some trails, because again, it is state land, so we can definitely go hike on it. I know that there's snow machine trails, there's dog mushing trails, so it'll be nice to be able to just go explore right out the back door.
Oh yeah, and we're like right in the heart of Iditarod country, and I kind of fell in love with that whole concept. I love dogs anyway, I always have, and just following the Iditarod, following the mushers, and learning more about it. That's been fun.
Yeah, there are definitely some tough athletes,
I'll
all
tell
of
you.
them, from the people to the dogs.
Absolutely.
Y'all are great. So we are getting ready to go back up in a few more weeks in November, and we will definitely have tons of layers of clothes on because it'll be a little chillier. But the goal is to straighten some things up. I want to cut some trees down. As Judy said, there's a lot of beetle kill trees, and now's a really good time to cut it down. Two reasons. One, there's not like 12 feet of snow on the ground right now. There probably is some snow, or will be, but it's also a great time to cut them down so that they don't interfere with the other trees. So
We're
we
going
have
to
some
clean
chores.
out the outhouse. We
Not
don't
like,
have to clean out the outhouse because
no,
they
'cause they
moved the
just-
outhouse and dug a new hole.
but we now have a door on the outhouse. That's the
Yes.
other thing we did in August. We
We
put
hung
the
the
door
door.
back on the outhouse. It's a nice
It's
feature.
always nice to have privacy. Not that there's anyone around, but we're going to clean out the shed and organize and kind of try to clean out the cabin.
Mhm.
There's some stuff on the property that was left behind that we need to break up and probably burn, and
Just create a
and
little trash pile to
just
get rid of.
just get rid of some debris. So
So it'll be fun. So first lessons learned first. Went online and double check to make sure I know how to properly fell a tree, which simply means cutting it over. Cut your wedge out. You cut your wedge a 45 down, straight across in the direction you want it to go, and then you cut above. So we'll take some video of that, see how well I did at learning, and see how well I do at putting it into practice.
I
Because
have
there's
to
a
add
lot of
this.
trees.
So we were putting stuff together on the table of things that we want to take, because we're going to take an extra suitcase up and just leave it up there with just a bunch of stuff we want to leave at the property. And I find all these gauze bandages, first aid stuff, band-aids, like all this stuff. And I'm going, what are you planning on having some injuries there?
Better to be prepared and have stuff than not
Well, that's
have it
true.
and need it. So
Because we're a couple hours, well, there's probably
there's
maybe an urgent care nearby, but
There is.
for a major hospital, we're a couple hours away.
urgent care I think is about 30 minutes away. So
Yeah.
apply pressure.
Okay.
So we'll take you along. Our goal is to tidy up, which you guys probably already know how to do that, but definitely following some trees, covering some stuff up, and then just trying to do a little bit at a time. Lots to
Okay.
learn.
So we hope that you hit the bell, like, subscribe, and we'll take you along with us on our journey.